What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but we're gonna start doing these role narrations again. Let's get into it. So we got my boy Joe. We're gonna roll with my boy Joe. We started like a little bit in the middle of the round here. So let me just turn that sound down. We started in the middle of the round. As you can see, other people are already going. And this was the first round. So it's just more so flow, right? So this is how I like to just get started, just moving. I'm not really going for anything in particular. Today, I'm pretty much at this day of rolling, I'm pretty much just focused on defense and just trying to get out of bad positions. So you're going to see me in a lot of bad positions. I'm not really playing guard too much. Just slow movements here. He has my wrist, which is fine because it wasn't really doing anything. He's trying to lock up my leg, which is fine. I try to do an octopus. Joe's pretty good at wrestling, actually, so it's pretty hard to do some of the wrestling moves like octopus back takes and things like that with him. And so here he goes. It would be nice if Joe had a little bit more pressure down towards his arm, but I have my knee in between, so I was able to alleviate some of that pressure that he was applying to me. Here, I need to do a better job when I get grips of just being able to transition. So I hold grips, as you can see here, I'm holding grips. I'm going for this 2-on-1. I'm really trying to do this really inefficient move of a wrist lock here. It's really hard to get it, especially with the grips that I have. So I'm working on some modified grips coming soon. Coming soon. So you see, I have this 2-on-1, but I wasn't able to really do anything with it. This is my favorite sweep coming up soon. Whenever I get double ankles, the person's always going down. But again, I didn't want to come on top. I just wanted to stay at the bottom. Again, I'm working defense. He does a nice little leg drag right there. Nice one. He's applying good pressure. I'm just framing. I'm keeping distance. I'm controlling wrist. I'm grip fighting. I'm not allowing him to get the grips that he wants in order for him to be able to pass. But at the same time, because I'm focusing so much on that, I'm not really advancing my own offense, right? So there's pros and cons to it. He does this, half guard, like kind of like reverse, like or kind of like I think it's called twister side control almost, but I have his leg right here kind of trapped for the 10 planet people. I did a little bit of 10 planet system. So right here, I'm actually working on trying to flip him over. This is something that I'm working on whenever people body lock pass. As zombie, there's a lot of people who like to body lock because there's a lot of leg lockers here. Our head, the owner, the coach, he's really, really good at leg locks. Amazing at it. So, of course, if your head coach is good at leg locks, then guess what? A lot of students will become pretty good at leg locks. And so that opens up a whole new way of passing. So here we go. I'm going to start the next one and we're going to get into the next row. All right, here we go. We got my guy Roger. He is a 4-stripe blue belt. He just got his 4th stripe. Congrats to him. It looks like he just went through a war in his last round, and you guys saw how it was kind of like chilling. So we also talked about him having some McDonald's before he made it here. So he wasn't feeling the best in the gut. If you guys ever had some fast food, if you ever had some fast food before doing anything athletic, you know how that feels. If it was me, I would be just throwing up all over the match. So here we go. He's going for a guard pass. And I'm controlling grips. This is my second roll. So I'm just getting a feel for what he's looking to do. I consider myself more of like a counter striker. And I like to download and see what type of grips are people going for. He has a nice bicep control grip right there, which was really good. He's trying to control my legs, so that's why I'm peeling his arms back because I don't want him to have control over that. So then I switched to his ankle grip because if he was to come around, I was definitely going to pull it. But he backsteps off of the mat into the concrete. So we just reset. I'm just, we're just chatting. I'm kind of like a little chatter box a little bit sometimes when I'm rolling, just to keep things playful and have a good time. I like to laugh. Hopefully I'm not taking advantage of my training partners by doing that. Maybe I am. He does that grip right there to start prying. He can come around and do a guard pass. So I grab it, and he doesn't like that. His base is really far out, so I'm not really able to hook his legs or pull him down. Next time, what I should be doing is working a snap down to a front headlock and heist up. And he's controlling my wrist, as you can see here. I don't like this. This is bothering me, and he's wedging in between my hips, and he's working that guard pass. I free my grip. End up going to a running man position. It's like a modified running man position. It's pretty poor, honestly. I'm trying to trap that arm. He knows it's coming, so he is not allowing it, which allows me to turtle. He grabs onto my head, but I'm not really in danger. I free it. Again, just framing. I start to see, oh, maybe there's a triangle. And I lost it. Dang. I still have his arms. He has my head. He's doing a good control. Like, he's doing a good job controlling my posture, my head. Heavy on the head here, which is good for him. It's really good. But I would like to see him maybe his weight more on me and less on his hips, which allowed me to just be able to like get out. You see this? I'm controlling his wrist, giving him a really hard time. He's having a really hard time passing, and because I controlled that wrist, I was able to lock up that triangle there. I'm just trying to, sync it up, because it's not really locked on. I have the position, I have the head and arm, but he's stacking, which is pretty good given the size advantage. A stack is a good way of getting out of it, but I'm stubborn, so I go for this TP choke, which forces him to sit back to alleviate some of the pressure. I push his arm across. I'm able to lock that up. That's actually a legitimate escape attempt that he tried. I know it looks a little bit silly, but it is a legitimate escape attempt, which I will be hitting a little bit later in the upcoming foreshadowing the day. And so we were just chatting about that. But if I could rewind that a little bit and just go into how that triangle was able to be broken down. So here, through this whole scramble, I'm controlling his left arm the entire time. That wrist, I'm controlling it the entire time. Just watch that, right? Throughout that whole scramble, I start to get a guard recovery going on over here, and I'm still controlling that wrist. So I'm able to extend it and just be able to pull my leg out and just lock up the triangle there. Yeah. So one thing that I notice is when you're not giving a lot, you start to have your partner over leverage or overextend themselves, and they're struggling. They're pushing harder and harder and harder to pass your guard, because it's like, dang, I got to make something happen, right? And because they're trying to make something happen, you end up able to catch them on some stuff right there. But let's fast forward to where we start rolling again. Basically, this round is pretty much over. I end up going to my side, going back to a running man position. If you guys know John Frankel in Korea, he calls this the iron pillow position. And again, he has his knee there, which is fine. And I believe the bell is about to ring. There we go. The bell rings, slap bump, had a good roll. Love training with Roger. He really doesn't put a lot of weight on me. As you can see, he was being really nice in a lot of the scenarios and keeping his weight off of me, which allowed me to do a lot of stuff. Obviously, he's aware of me being small. Here we have Dave coming in. Dave is a purple belt, and he is very technical. We always just chat beforehand, just like, what are you working on? Is your knee okay? Is your hands okay? We just like to make sure we're okay and knowing what we should do and should not do when we're rolling with each other. We've been rolling for a while now, of course. And so this is the position I always start off at a disadvantage, as you can see. Like, why am I so balled up in half guard like this? I don't have any grips. I gave him all the grips. He has the grip on my waist. I don't like it. He started grabbing my hands. I don't like that. So I'm working from a negative here, which is not the smartest thing to do against somebody of Dave's skill level, to be honest. And so here we are. He's Dave's actually, this is the second time on the channel he's been rolling with him. I was able to get that Kimura grip, and what you're gonna see basically is us hugging each other. Honestly, I'm hugging his arm, he's hugging my waist. I can't scoot back here. I should start like posting up on my shoulder, in this space, my shoulder, my head, to start trying to clear some space here. But I just never felt safe. I felt like he was waiting to reverse this Kimura on me if I did try to do something like that. I just didn't really feel safe. I need to practice that position a little bit more. And so I'm just going to fast forward because we're going to be in this position for some time. And so I'm going to eventually do what I just mentioned in terms of getting on my shoulder right there. And then I tried to use that to sweep. I don't have any hooks in, which made it kind of just strength at that point. And I sat up and kind of used my hips, a little bit of leverage with my hips, but it was mostly strength. That's just the power of the Kimura grip, honestly. And so in this position, Dave's not in the greatest position in the world, but I'm not able to finish it. He has a good control over my right leg. I'm not minding it too much. I do want it to get separated. I will clear it. As you can see, I will clear it soon. I'll do a back step, but I'm not able to really lock up the position or finish the Kimura like I want. Sometimes I like to finish it with just a one arm, like weave through the arm and just control it that way. But he had a good job straining his arm out. So I back step, but he does this great elbow and knee connection there. So I can't get that space in. And so I try to force it in. I try to force that space and shift my hips, but as a result, he captures my leg. What I should have done was go around his head and set up a T Kimura position. And if he would have spinned out of that, potentially took his back. But I had tunnel vision, right? I was just like, I want this Kimura. I want it. Dave, you're going to give me this Kimura. And then I started thinking like, oh shoot, we had a conversation, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that he thinks he might need shoulder surgery, or he just needs to get it checked out. And so then I was thinking about that, like, you know what? He might need it. I know it's not this shoulder, it's the other shoulder, but I know he said he has something with this shoulder before in the past too. So let me just stop working on it. I couldn't get the submission this whole entire time. It's better me to transition to something else. So you're going to see me relatively soon. Yeah, just let go of the grip, transition to something else, start working on something else. And I end up telling him like about it. And we were just mentioning it. And he was just like, basically like, dude, you should have just kept going. Which, yeah, maybe I should have, but that's just really my mindset. My hips are not in the best position now that I'm looking at it. I am putting some pressure on him, which is great, but I should be a little bit over him more, honestly. And so he knows what my attack is from here. I've done it a few times, or I attempted it a few times. He does a little bit of kipping escape from side control, which is really smart. Step over the head, try to trap the arm. Have the arm trap. What I should have been doing is just focusing, prioritizing, and getting his back flat. I did not do that. So what Dave is able to do is he's able to put me back into his closed guard here, which is really nice. The round ends. And I believe the next person that we have that I rode with was Collins. And Collins is also a purple belt. So we went from high blue to purple to another purple. We had somebody right in the camera angle. I just asked her to step aside because I am a camera diva. So here we go. Collins is really smooth. He has really good base. He has a really good base. I have a pretty hard time trying to sweep him. And so I know he's been working passing a lot lately. And so I just want to give him like, I don't want to concede too much. Like, so when we started the last match, like I gave Dave like all the grips. I didn't necessarily give Collins these same grips to start off with. And so he's giving a lot of pressure with his hips and body lock. And I'm able to get this overhook grip right here, which allowed me to start to put him in an omoplata. I trap his leg at the bottom, prevent the roll, and then we get a tap there. So if I was to go back and rewind that really quickly, the setup for this is when he takes this arm out here, I was grabbing it. I was making it very uncomfortable for him. So he postures up. I grab it. I'm going to create a little bit of distance, which allows this hook, this butterfly hook, to come right out. Instead of trying to sweep him, I'm actually going to throw the omoplata. I have this hook to stop him from going around, of course. And he tries to clear it, which I extend, and I do not allow that clear to happen. He's trying to then do a spin, but you're going to see that foot hook it, prevents the spin, and then we get the tap. So then we continue to roll here. Again, Collins is really difficult to sweep. Really, really difficult. And he has a wide base. He has good posture. His grips are in great place. I'm just trying to like tinker with him. I'm trying to do grips to just frustrate him a little bit, to get him to be out of character, how normally sound he is. I'm trying to get him to do things that he's not used to. He grabs this great, applies a lot of pressure on my knee, which makes me extend. And so here we are. I'm not really too sure what he's doing exactly, but I didn't like it, so I started pulling his arm, potentially trying to go for the same thing again, but he doesn't really. He puts his head in the way, so I can't overhook it. He goes for a body lock, and as I mentioned before, whenever they go for the body lock, I go through this reach around grip, threaten the arm. What is it, like a guillotine? Put him in closed guard. And so I'm not really that effective from closed guard. Obviously, there's attacks from closed guard, but when you're rolling with somebody that's skilled and they know what to expect from closed guard, you're gonna have obviously a much harder time trying to finish the individual. Trying to again get him with this reverse Kimura and go to a wrist lock from here. I do think I have something planned for this. I'm gonna have it modify. I'm gonna have a modified grip. I think I'm gonna start being able to finish those a little bit more, but we'll see. I try to switch to the other side. Not effective at all, honestly, just not effective. So this is not really, we're not really doing much. And for me, I'm just like, you know what, let's just, if I can't get that arm, I want to get that arm. Like, you know, but he's doing a really good job. Starts holding away. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just start opening up the guard. Let me possibly start doing Williams guard or rack guard, or as what they call. My arm should be deeper. It should be much, much deeper. So like I'm kind of like half-assing it, to be honest. So then I'm trying to push his head to the side, but he's very stubborn. So finally get the grips that I want. And now with this, I'm looking to sweep him actually right over. I'm looking to sweep him over. I'm waiting for him to step over to this side, to his left. It's going to allow my legs to be free. Exactly what I want right here. But it just doesn't work out. Sorry, he's transitioned his grip, so I wasn't able to do it. I end up standing up. I trap his leg. As we sit back, go for the heel hook. I was initially thinking knee bar, but it's the wrong side. I give that up because he was defending well. He always defends my leg lock and my leg attempts really well. Dangerous for my knee, how we sat back there. Go for a back transition, a random little scramble. Legs are configured and whatnot. So I just choose to come up here. And now I'm working a little bit of passing for the first time. He turtles, takes his back. I do a kind of like a half Nelson, kind of on the wrong side, honestly. And so I wasn't able to secure the position. We're rolling through. He's grabbing my foot, and he has his own arm almost kind of trapped for a second. It was really funny. He pulls on my foot. I was like, well, if you're gonna do that, then I'm just gonna lock in this choke. I didn't feel any real tension or pressure there. The bell rang, and that was a roll. It was a great roll. Love Roland McCollins. He's really really good. Really really good. Let's move forward. I believe the next row is with Dave's brother Jose. You see, throwing up little signs. Jose. Again, I just love rolling with everybody at Zombie. Honestly, everybody has. They're not gonna like hurt you, right? They're gonna submit you. They're gonna go for it, but they're not gonna hurt you in the process. So it's a family. It's a nice environment. So Jose, he's just got back to jiu-jitsu not too long ago. Again, he had a little break, so he's getting his cardio. So not going too hard. We see him sit and kind of in a camera angle, but you're gonna notice me being kind of he has me in a darts right here. I'm defending, as you can see, I'm defending. I'm gonna end up turtling a lot, and I'm gonna notice that he's blocking the camera, and I'm gonna do like a kind of like a back scoot right when I notice it. So he wasn't letting go to the head. He finally lets go of the head. Boom. And I see here like, oh, he's potentially blocking the camera. Like, ah, come on. And so I back up. Boom. Puts me on my side. This is basically running man. Again, I need to work on my running man. This doesn't really look that good, honestly. So here we go. Turtling, and I start playing around with turtle. This is something I knew that I'm about to hit. I haven't really done in the past, but I've been looking at doing it. It's just basically tripoding up and knocking the person right over and resetting. From there, got a little tape. So I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, am I like seated? Am I passing? At what? I wasn't really too sure. So he just gets up and grabs a headlock. I was like, all right, fine. I'm gonna just sit. Um, and he has this wrist grip on me. I do not like that. I put my back flat on the mat, which I have no problems with whatsoever. I know safe postures. I get back on my side. I don't really care for points, guys. Honestly, when I'm rolling, it's more of like, all right, what am I doing to be safe? He's controlling me, so don't try to explode out right now. He has good control. Wait for him to try to transition for a submission or something. Don't make the situation worse. That's literally what's going on in my mind right now. Like, all right, he has good posture, has good stuff right now. He's trying to get grips. He had a grip on my arm that I didn't really like, so I turtled up. And, I'm just waiting for him to make a mistake. Again, I'm like a counter striker. I know there's a lot of people who are like really, really aggressive. I find whenever I'm super aggressive, it doesn't really work out for me. So that's something that I want to show right there. So I'm turtling. He tries to step over. He doesn't have any hooks or anything like that. So I'm just gonna peek out the back. Just basically pop my head up, boop, pin the knee, pin the leg down. So there's no threats of triangles or anything like that. Keep that leg pinned, and I'm gonna just start working passing from here. Scoot. I'm gonna scoot around. I believe I'm gonna scoot around that knee on belly, and then I see a potential knee bar. So I go for it. It was a pretty poor transition. I should have controlled a little bit better his hand. So I lost the foot. So I switched to a different leg. I didn't have proper frames in order. I should have had a grip under his armpit there. I switched sides in order to effectively apply knee bar pressure because I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this foot here. I know I'm going to get it. And so, boom, I ended up getting it. I should have grabbed with my left arm. I should have grabbed his heel and did a figure 4 grip. as I was bridging in and twist my body to the side. I twist here, but I had the wrong grip. I wasn't grabbing the heel, as you can see. But based off of his facial expression, there was some pressure going on there. He kicks it out. He's freeing. He's doing a great job defending. He twists out of it. I should have tried to transition to a like maybe a heel hook or something like that, but it just didn't work out right. So there we go. We're continuing to go, and I believe the bell is going to ring relatively soon here. But there was a few things I had in mind going in today. It's just defend, and if I could get a knee bar, go for one. And Jose did not allow me to get that knee bar. Awesome job. Awesome job. I love it. Next up, I believe we're rolling with Gina. Gina is actually one of my favorite roles. She learns things really quickly, and she's just very dynamic. I believe she's also a 4-stripe blue belt as well. She's cool with the role. She gave her consent. Here we go. So she's passing. I like how she does like this reach around. You're gonna like notice this, like, I'm gonna reach around. But as she goes for it, watch. It's really cool. Reach around, boom. But as she goes for it, I trap her legs, and I'm able to pretty much put her on the other side and try to take her back. So if I was to rewind that for a second, so as she's going, she's like basically diving for my hips, but she needs her legs to come all the way around. So what I do is I bring my knee and my elbow together, and I trap her top leg right there. Elbow, knee together, trap that top leg as she's coming around. And then basically I'm going to switch my hips to the other side with those trapped. And then put my hooks in and start working back attacks. But she does a good job of putting her back flat on the mat, so I wasn't able to get chest to back there. She has a good grip. Now, when I'm working this position here, there's a few things that you can do. You can go for the head and arm, but I see she's defending it relatively well. Also, there's obviously a size disadvantage in her favor, right? Or advantage in my favor. So I know that, and I don't want to put a lot of weight and submit because of that. I want to do it technically. So here we go. She's framing my tricep. I know she's working octopus. She's been working octopus guard, and here she goes. I'm like seeing if I can counter it. She knocks me over. She has a nice octopus back take, not back take, but sweep reversal there. She gets mount. So again, I'm defending and working defense. I want to start doing a lot of turtling for mount. It's so unconventional, it's untraditional. So I turtle for mount, but now the person's on top, no hooks in. I'm mindful of the hooks. Take them out. And so now I'm working turtle and just not giving really any space. But I find that whenever I roll with women, their hands are so much smaller than men, they could just slip in, and it's like, oh my gosh. So I got to be super, super tight, which is perfect because like she's allowing me to work on my defense and be better because of it. I super appreciate it. She ends up slipping under my chin. I don't fight the grips. I just make sure she's not able to get the hooks in, because I know that grip right there, although very deadly, it becomes less so when there's no hook. So I'm able to slip my head out, go knee on belly, trap that bottom arm, and start attacking. I believe I get the same grip. She lets me grip around her. I slide up, do a chair sit, boom, chair sit there, and I'm just working back. I try to actually return the favor and do a choke. I apply a choke without any hooks in to see if I can get her. She did not tap. We have some dancing action going on over here. There was relatively no music playing, so those dancing moves right there were fire. So didn't get the tap, didn't get anything. We reset because we started getting too close to them. And I believe the bell is gonna ring relatively soon. She's working a pass. I'm just seeing how annoying I can be to frustrate her. She goes for this wedging back take like a pretzel bolo. I just kind of like push her off. It's very hard to hit that move, honestly, from that position from top side control. It's very, very hard to hit it. I always roll out of it as well. One, especially if the person knows what's coming. Boom! She locks up a nice little triangle. Let's do that. Let's rewind that again. Right? It's hard for the hair to hit that back take. But then I come on top and I go one arm in, one arm out. Very foolish. Very, very foolish. Locks up a triangle last minute. I try to put this arm in. Like, oh, I realized it a little bit too late. As a result of what happens here, I'm defending, and I have this new, remember what Roger did? I have it as well. I basically, it's an escape where I'm trying not to stack her, of course. So one thing that you do is you create space under their hip on this side where the lock is not on. And you want to take this knee and you want to basically swipe it in under this space, which is going to allow your shoulder to hit the mat, and they're going to roll. And as they roll, they're going to like just let go of the grip automatically. And so as you can see, I'm going to swipe it. She's scooting. I'm going to swipe it. I realized here that she was actually over her head. So that was a little bit dangerous on my part. I should be much more careful and consider where my training partners are. She was okay from it, obviously, but that's definitely a note for me to be a little bit careful. So she's going for this north-south. I go to apply this back at her. She mounts, and I'm going for the turtle again. I want to turtle and get out of a mount. Also, the roll wasn't really super aggressive. I should mention that. It was relatively a soft roll. Boom. So with that, the difference here is that when I went to start trying to turtle or put the grip in, she postures up. And because she postures up, that's going to allow me to basically sit up. And so as I sit up, now she can't come back forward and put her weight on me. So now it is basically a matter of me just hipping over and just knocking over to the side. So it's a really nice escape that I've been working. Back step into the legs, and I believe it's going to be time. She defends well. My leg position is really poor here, but she defends really well. And that was the end of the round. Or we had one more roll with Rich, but I wasn't able to catch that because we had to move the mat. But thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, consider subscribing. And if you didn't like it, tell me why. What should I have worked on? What can I do to be better? If you were to roll with me, how would you pick me apart? How would you destroy me? I'm curious. I'm curious to know. If you don't know, I'm a purple belt. And if you do know, great. Let me know. I'm curious. What can I work on? How can you beat me? See you guys. Peace.